In this practice, we'll start seated in the chair and we'll come to standing. And if you can't come to standing, just do the seated foot movements. They'll be very helpful. This is especially valuable for people with flat feet. We'll start seated. Look at your feet, spread your toes, lift your toes up, keep the spread of the toes and take them down. You might have heard of getting small feet as a way to work on the arches. Looking at your foot, see if you can make the foot smaller by drawing from the toe tips all the way back to the heel. Notice how you build an arch when you do that. You can release and try that several times. Toe tips down, you keep the base of the big toe down and you draw toward the heel. Now try it with both feet. So lift and spread your toes so that you've got a nice broad foundation first. Take your toes down, draw from the toes to the heel. I'll give it slightly different angles so that you can see both feet working. The toes are down, you're drawing toes toward the heel to create this nice full arch. Do that several repetitions and see if you can build the arches to the feet so that you're not collapsing in. Another thing that those of you that have worked on your toes for a while know about the towel curl, and I've covered that in another video, but there's a way you can do that without a towel. In fact, I think that messing with the towel kind of takes you a little bit out of your groove. So as you start with your heels pretty close to your chair. Lift and spread your toes, take them down, and as if your toes are an inchworm, lifting the toes up and just allowing your heels to move very slowly through the action of your toes, moving your feet forward. So keep that action, drawing forward. It's almost like when you pull the heel forward, it's like you're making a fist with your toes just to keep the action alive. I started with my feet close to the chair legs, and my feet have traveled quite a bit farther away from the chair legs. Come back with your feet right under your knees. Place your right ankle just to the outer left knee. In this figure 4 action, let your ankle clear the knee, point your toes, and internally rotate the foot. So you point and you can use your hands to internally rotate. Point, internally rotate. Point, internally rotate. Point, internally rotate. It's a very hard action to do on your own, so that's why I'm helping out my foot internally rotate. Let's try it with the other side. So take your left leg and let it clear the outer knee. Point the foot and internally rotate. Point, internal rotation. Point and internal rotation. Just to get the ankle just a little bit more flexible, internally rotating. One more, internal rotation. Again, release the left foot. Another favorite of mine is doing the Zig Zag action. It's so great for the ankle support. So you lift your heels up and you take your heels over to the left, lift your toes up and draw the toes down, lift your heels up and over and toes up and down, lift the heels up, come the opposite way, activate your ankles, lift your toes, lift your heels, draw over to one side and then the other. Come back to center, heels up, toes up, come back to the center. If that feels like too much, just lift the heel up and take it down. Just going side to side with the heel lift, up and down, up and down. And maybe you can try that with both feet. You just lift the heels up and you go to one side, you lift the heels up, you go to the opposite side. You still get a nice action with the feet. You keep the base of the toes down for this one, and you move as far as you can from one side to the other side. With flat feet, the arch collapses on the inside of the foot. So working the outside as you press the base of the big toe down and you draw in, making the foot smaller, you can build the arch nicely. Try that a few times with your feet parallel, with the base of the toe, with the base of the big toe down. Take your weight toward the outer foot. Keep pressing down with the base of the big toe. And notice how it affects the knees. So if you collapse to the inside, the knees draw in. You'll realign if you use the 4 points of the feet that we call it in yoga. I know a lot of physical therapists call it a triangle: the base of the big toe, the base of the baby toe, and the middle of the heel. In yoga, it's slightly different, but very similar principle in that there's a balanced weight on 4 parts of the feet: the base of the big toe, the base of the baby toe, the outer heel, the inner heel. Come to standing and use the chair for support. We'll be standing on one leg, but let's start on 2 legs just so that you get the idea of this. Lift the heel up on the right foot, draw in toward the midline of your stance. Come down with the heel as you press down through the base of the big toe. Draw the heel slightly out. Inhale, lift the heel up, draw it slightly in. Exhale, draw down, and keep pressing through the base of the big toe as the heel draws out. Inhale, lift up, draw the heel in. Exhale, draw down. Draw the heel to the outside. On the opposite foot, you lift up and you draw the heel out. While keeping the base of the big toe, you take it down and hug in. Lift up, knee bends, heel draws out, come down, heel hugs in. Lift up, heel goes out, hug in as you come down. Now let's try that on one foot. So we'll try that on the right foot. So as you do, you can lift up the left, hold on to the chair so that you're stable. You'll lift up, draw the heel slightly out as you're coming down. Lift up on your right leg. Right leg is bearing all the weight. Lift your right heel up, draw the heel in as you come down. Draw the heel out. Lift up, draw the heel in, draw the heel out, coming down. Lift up, heel draws in, come down, heel draws out. On the left side, lift up your right leg, press down on the 4 corners of the feet. Inhale, lift your heel up, draw the heel in, On the exhale, draw the heel out. Inhale, lift up and pull the heel in. Exhale, draw out. Inhale, lift up and in. Exhale, draw out and down. So you've done another exploration to strengthen the arches in your feet, and this will be so valuable as you go deeper in the standing yoga poses. You'll create such a strong and stable foundation. Thanks for joining me in the practice. Namaste.